Hi, everyone. My name is Darren Edelman. I am a certified professional resume writer, and I want to welcome all of you to our webinar today, Preeminent Job Search Strategies. Depending on where you are in the world, I want to wish you good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Those of you that celebrated Halloween, I hope you're still in your sugar rush, and hopefully you'll be getting a lot out of today. I have been involved in the career services industry for about 15 years. I earned my CPRW, that's Certified Professional Resume Writer, certification in the year 2000. After a few years of writing and having a lot of success getting my clients jobs, I started publishing and speaking, giving different seminars and such, and eventually started consulting for and working with most of the main job search sites, the Ladders, Career Builder, Monster, Rise Smart, JobFox, quite a few others. Um, I'm speaking to you today, one, because of my industry knowledge, and two, just because of my personal experience and my desire to share this with you. I've gone through many career periods of my life, and if you're interested in statistics, most, at least Americans, go through 7 major job career changes in their life. So if you're thinking about a career transition, you're actually one of the many. You're not alone. And I've always had a natural ability, whether I was getting involved in veterinary science, nonprofit business, education. I was able to develop, and this is way even before the internet, for those of you, old enough to remember, to develop job search strategies that got me the jobs that I wanted, to create my resume that got me interviews. When I was teaching and realized I needed a supplemental income if I planned to eat and have a place to sleep. So I found that there was such a thing as a certified resume writer, and I thought that would make a really, really fascinating career that I could actually use some talents and knowledge that I have as a career to help other people in their career. I just thought that would be super cool, and so I started doing it, and have had much success. Most of the people that I work with to help them develop their LinkedIn profiles, resumes, etc., have a significantly quicker job search. It gets done quicker than possible. They land more targeted jobs, exactly what they're looking for, and they let me know about this, which makes it for a very inspiring and meaningful career on my behalf. So that brings us to why I'm here with you today. How you or your parents searched for jobs 20 years ago, 15 years ago, really even 5 years ago, is completely different from how we do things today. It's pretty much gone the way of the payphone. If you don't understand today's online tools, social media, current career resources, it's as if you're driving on a freeway in a horse and carriage. That would not work here in Los Angeles, and I don't think it would work anywhere here in the world. My goal for us today is that you're going to be able to take away high quality, real world content and immediately actionable items where you could understand where your job search is lacking, and if you're about to start your job search, how you can create for yourself a highly successful search that gets you what you want quickly, effectively, and with minimum pain and suffering. A job search generally is not a pleasant experience, and you could tell how successful you are by how quickly you could stop doing it. So that's what I want for you today, is to end this as quickly as possible. Please have a tablet ready, or if you have pen and paper or computer, I'm going to be giving you just a whole ton of information, a lot of websites that you might want to jot down. So please be ready for that. On the right side of your screen, you'll see a section for questions. So feel free to type in anything. We're going to have a question session at the end. Some of you have sent me questions already. I'm going to go through those and just go through the questions on a first come, first served basis. If you send me questions now, and I do actually cover it during the webinar, I don't mean to skip over you, but I'm going to have to skip over you just so I can tackle the information that we haven't covered yet. Let's see. We've had some response that when I'm going through the slides, they might appear blurry to you depending on your connection, but really that's just for a few seconds. If you blink a few times, it should be very clear and you should be able to see it very well. Let's see. And last thing before we get started, on Monday, Eastern Standard Time, sometime during the day, we're going to actually send you a very, very brief questionnaire about this webinar, how you guys liked it. Please, it's anonymous, so please feel free to hurt my feelings as much as possible. We're looking for constructive criticism. We're planning on having many different webinars in the future on a variety of career-related topics. So we want to hear about if you felt that today was valuable. We want to hear some of your ideas for other topics that would be helpful to you personally. We want to be here for you and help you get the job that you want. So let's get to it. Let me bring up the slideshow. Okay, there we go. So today, okay, so today we're going to be going through, if you asked me what is one resource that you had, if you only had time for one resource online, what would it be? So my answer would be LinkedIn. And stay tuned to find out why. However, the other social media sites like Facebook, Twitter are an essential resource in your career search, and it's one of the best ways to uncover the hidden job market. You've probably heard about that. That's where most of the jobs are, and social media is a key resource to uncover that. Lastly, there's a saying I really love, and definitely it's because I'm very biased, but the saying is, your resume is one of the most critical documents you have in your life. When it works, you do. When it doesn't, you don't. So we want to look very briefly at your resume and LinkedIn profile and make sure that you're using SEO as much as possible to be able to get through those gatekeepers. If you don't know what SEO is and want to learn, that's what we're going to learn coming up shortly. Now, plus, if you stay with us for the entire 30 minutes webinar, at the end we have a very, very special free offer. We're going to be giving you a free gift that I know you're going to find very, very valuable and as useful as the content that you find here today, in some ways even more, because it's going to provide you a resource that a webinar can't. So let's get on to your job search. Let's see. Okay, that's right. Okay, so in some ways you need to think of your job search as a battle. And just like in a battle, you could squeak by if you only use the Army or Navy. To end the battle as quickly, as effectively, and as decisively as possible, you need to use all of your resources. You need to use your Army, your Air Force, and your Navy. So too, in your job search, you need to be able to use your resume and cover letter. Your resume and cover letter should clearly detail your value to the employer. Why do employers hire people? The answer is actually very simple. An employer has a problem, and he or she believes you can solve it. That's really it in a nutshell. Starbucks has a problem. They would term it this way, but they have a problem. They have customers coming in their store and buying coffee. The problem is they need someone to serve them. If they believe that you are the optimal candidate to do this, you'll get hired. And if not, then not. So your resume should be concise, generally about 2 pages or so, but that does depend on your career and your experience. And it should set you aside not really just as a candidate, because there are hundreds of candidates. Your resume cover letter should designate you as the ideal candidate. Your LinkedIn profile and social media resources need to be a little bit more personal. It's really not just your resume and cover letter cut and pasted inside. Um, it's a different format. You want to cover some different things, and you want to be able to have LinkedIn work for you in that employers and recruiters, when they're searching for key terms um, and for candidates, you want to come up first. And also continuous learning. Um, you should set aside a certain amount of time in your job search for learning about skills. Um, you might be very good at interview techniques and how to answer those questions. You might be very good at negotiating your benefits and your salary, but there are always new applications. There are always new resources and tools for the job search. And if you're not staying current, you could be missing out. Um, so during your job search, you should be setting aside time for developing your LinkedIn profile and your network. Having more and more people uh, provides a better tool for you. Um, Most of your job search time would be applying to job leads. And once you start learning about what's online, you'll actually find some really great things such as niche job boards. If you're, let's say, a registered nurse, so if you look online, you'll eventually find RN job boards. You could find a job board for healthcare jobs in New York. You could find a job board just for medical jobs. Um, Looking up books if you like reading on YouTube. There's some great videos. On Google, you can find blogs and different resources. And now, about 1 minute ago, I mentioned that you should look at your job search as a battle. So just ignore everything I just said. I'm kidding. You should also, at the same time, view your job search as a job and set aside a definite time for it. So just like you would not really see results if you went to the gym kind of once in a while when you felt like it, but you would see results if you go to the gym at a set time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And it's the same way in your job search. Once you set a definite time, that could be an hour a week, it could be an hour a day, whatever you're able to manage. You can now, you've now empowered yourself for your own success because you'll start getting metrics that you could look at. So if you spend an hour a week applying to jobs, let's say you find 50 good matches, and out of those 50 good matches, you get 5 interviews. So now you know exactly what to do. If you increase your job search time 50%, then statistically this should happen. You should get 50% more matches and 50% more interviews. If you spend less time on your job search, then everything will be reduced. Now, your job search should basically look like this chart, even though there's more than 2 things that you would be doing. So let's say another important thing is always keep in mind the 80-20 rule. So what that is, it's a phenomenon that is true across multiple areas of life, which is that 80% of your results generally come from about 20% of the things you're doing. In sales organizations, generally 80% of the profits are produced by 20% of the people. Throughout life, generally the 80-20 rule holds true. So let's say you start your job search 50% of your time going on those large job boards, Monster, Career Builder, and applying to anything you see. 25% of your time you spend building up your LinkedIn profile, getting references, referrals, getting more contacts, and searching for jobs on LinkedIn. There's some great tools for that. And let's say 25% of your time looking online for new job search strategies, looking for niche job boards, just looking at anything you could find online. Now, after a week, let's say on LinkedIn you found 100 jobs. Let's say on Career Builder and Monster combined you found 20, and you found 2 niche job boards. So if that happened to you, what I would recommend is eliminate those large job boards. It's not being productive, and it's really just sucking up your time. So I would then change your job search to be 50% of your time on LinkedIn, 25% of your time on these new job boards that you found, and at this point, you'd have to be spending about 25% of your time actually going on your interviews. So Okay, let's get into the hidden job market. I want to ask you a question. You could really just answer this just to yourself. What percent of jobs do you think are public? So when a company, whether it's Amazon or Apple or Starbucks or whoever, put a job board, they put it in newspaper classified ads or the large job boards. What percent of jobs are there and what percent of jobs are not public? Do you think it's 50%? Do you think it's 60-40? Well, please be sure you're sitting down. Please take a deep breath. Most career search experts and job coaches, people in the industry, when they put on studies, the studies found over and over between 80 to 85% of job leads are unlisted. Why this is, it's not because HR people are evil or want to hide from you. They want to do their job as effectively as possible, just like you want to do your job as effectively as possible. The cost and time of placing ads, running through search campaigns is enormous. Also, if you want to think from their perspective, they get hundreds of overwhelmingly unqualified applicants that take a significant amount of time. Um, Here's another question. If you're interested in statistics and trivia, when a company puts out a job ad on one of those large job boards, how long do you think it takes for someone to apply? So how long do you think it takes for them to receive their first candidate? Do you think it takes 30 minutes? Do you think it takes 15 minutes? Do you think it takes 10 minutes? Well, again, please be sure you're sitting down. The latest studies, which I believe we have from 2014, show that a job, when a job lead is put out, that the company will receive their first candidate in 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Depending on industry, these employers will receive between 200 and 250 applicants per job, the majority of which are not qualified. So this is why many companies are putting on internal recruitment programs, which means that if you know someone in that company, very likely they're going to be hearing from their bosses that in a month or so, some new jobs are opening up. If they know anyone, please refer. So this is one reason that social media and having an inside connection to those employers will help you a great deal. So I mentioned that if you want to only have time for one site, that site should be LinkedIn. Now, I don't work for LinkedIn. I'm not compensated by them in any way. However, if you do have a personal friendship with Jeff Weiner, he's the CEO of LinkedIn, please feel free to have him contact me, and I'd be happy to speak to him about this. But I want to give you some statistics, again, why I say LinkedIn is the best for job searching. It actually comes from an online study, which you can see yourself and see a lot more information. The study is on the site jobvite.com. That's one word, JOBVITE. And we just throw out a few interesting numbers. 80% of all recruiters use LinkedIn, actually over 80%, to find candidates. 92% of recruiters hire through LinkedIn. And how about those other guys? How about Facebook, Twitter, if you're a fan? Well, 24% have hired through LinkedIn, and a very small 14% have hired through Twitter. Employers and recruiters, over 90% post jobs on LinkedIn. Facebook, only 48% use LinkedIn to post jobs, and only 39% use Twitter. Over 90% of employers use LinkedIn to monitor or research candidates. That means they're looking at you, and you're not paranoid if they really are looking at you. And the majority of employers, actually over 95%, use LinkedIn to contact you. So even if they do find you on Monster or Career Builder or other sites, very likely they're going to look for you online. They want to see what your online reputation is. They're going to try to find you on LinkedIn. And if they find you there, they're going to look through your profile and contact you there. So that should convince you on the why. Now let me tell you how. How can you exploit LinkedIn the best to get employers and recruiters to find your profile first? So the first thing is make sure you have a good photo. If you have a good photo, you're 11 times more likely to be visited. Human beings like other human beings. Um, Now, if your profile is complete, you have a much better chance of getting up there on those job search when they search for key terms. That's your current position and at least two past positions. You should cover about between 5 to 10 years. Um, you might think that most of your older career experience isn't related to your current career target. When I work with clients on their resume and LinkedIn profile, generally what I do is work with people on seeing what their transferable skills are and the outstanding accomplishments and experience from their older work that relates to their current career target. So those are some reasons that you actually should put in those past positions. Profile and summary. Again, this should really clearly detail your value, your experience, what you offer the employer. Um, let's see, specialties and skills. Those are on LinkedIn the key search terms that people are looking for. Education, be sure to have that in. At least 3 recommendations from other people. And what that means is at least 1 per job. So you want to get as many as possible because that will also help you move up on search results. Who could you ask for references? A great idea are definitely employers, supervisors, previous employers, workmates. Depending on when you graduated, if any professors still remember you, professors, old classmates. Also, please consider people outside your career life. So family, friends, social contacts, people from church, neighbors, anyone. Um, there's 2 things that employers look for in a candidate. Uh, Number 1, who they are. Number 2, what they said. Um, so if you're in IT and you have Bill Gates recommending you for something, whatever he said, just put it on your profile, put it on your resume, put it in probably in your summary, as long as it's not a horrendous insult. Put it on there just because of who he is. If you have people that just aren't that famous, so the CEO of your company, your supervisor would be good. But let's say if they're not that famous, let's say just some family friend or something like that. So it depends what they say. If you're in sales, and let's say this person, um, they witnessed or they saw that you had an account that was about to move to a competitor, and you had very strong negotiation and relationship development skills, and you use that to bring the client back. They could speak about this, and they could type up a brief blurb for you about this. So that would be fantastic. That would add significant social validation to your profile, and that's what you're looking for. So let's see, other social media. As I said, do not neglect Facebook and Twitter. Even though they're a small percent, they're still a resource that could be exploited. Um, on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, some things that you can do are follow companies. If you know you want to work, let's say for a very large defense contractor, so find Northrop, find Boeing, find their Facebook account, find their LinkedIn account, follow them, find out who the key people are, find out the CEO, find the head HR people who would be interviewing you. Also, find the people that are working in the department that you would be working in. Try to find groups that they belong to, whether it's on LinkedIn, fraternities, sororities, professional groups. Join these groups and create a presence. Um, you could, if you want to create a blog, create articles. If you have time for that, that would be great. If not, really just even refer articles. So let's say you're in supply chain and you come across a great article on Six Sigma that helps to reduce operational costs. So just put it on a group, just link to it and say, hey everyone, I found this really interesting article on Six Sigma methodologies to reduce costs. What do you guys think of this? And you'll start getting comments, you'll start getting people to know you. And eventually, once you put out there on the board or the group, hey everyone, I'm looking for a supply chain job in Toledo. Does anyone have any resources? You'd be surprised what you could find. If you ask me for one word, one hyphenated word to summarize the answer to the hidden job market, that word would be people power. The more people that you have looking for you and that know that you're looking for a job, the quicker your job search will end. Just statistically, this is a fact. The more people that you, in fact, hired to look for something for you, the quicker you're going to find that thing. Let's go to a resource such as Facebook. So as I said, Facebook is not the ideal resource, but it's still a very great resource. And if you're keeping up with what's going on online, I think this was a short time ago, they added this tool where you could actually find your friends by workplace. So you could type in Boeing, Northrop, IBM, Apple, whoever it is, and you'll see all of the friends that you have in your Facebook who work there, and contact them. Uh, let's see. Now this one is a different slide, so I need to bring it up. Give me 1 second. And also, I want to mention that you'll be seeing on your screen occasionally a couple of things for great offers that we're putting on. And this is if you're interested in working with me to have me help you on your LinkedIn profile or resume or any kind of career documents. I'd be more than happy to. I love working with people, love helping people, and you could send me your resume if you like, and I'd be happy to review it. Sometimes resumes just require some quick advice. You have everything done right. You just maybe need a better presentation or some quick advice. Advice is always free. Sometimes I recommend a completely new resume. At that point, we could definitely speak about that. Feel free to click on those offers that you see, and if you're interested in having me help you, I would love to meet you and help you. Okay, this is another great resource, Glassdoor. What Glassdoor does is integrates your Facebook profile. So you could see, let me make this a little bigger if you're not seeing this well. So here you have A, which is how many friends you have in different companies. And then C is available jobs that you have with connections. And then D is the companies that you have that have the most connections. So this person, Expedia, has 119 friends that work there. Microsoft, 59 friends that work for Microsoft. So that's a great way. If you know you definitely need to look in the back door and look through a couple of companies that you have a lot of friends in, then this would be a fantastic resource. Let's see. Let me get back to the other slide really quickly. Stay with me, people. Stay with me. I'm going to bring it up. Also, if any of you are here from the Friday webinar, we actually had put on, attempted to put on a webinar Friday afternoon, and we just had some severe technical issues. About 100 different things went wrong. So I apologize for that. If any of you are here from the Friday show, I want to welcome you and apologize. And as you can see, we're up better than ever. Let's see. Let me go to where we left off. Let's see. Facebook, Twitter, another great resource. Twitter. Now this they did, I think, about a year or so ago at least, is a job search tool for you. All you have to do is type in counting jobs or key term, and they'll find them for you. PricewaterhouseCoopers, they're one of the top consulting firms in the world, and they have job leads here on Twitter. So even though I said they aren't the most ideal source, they are definitely a resource to use. Most likely these jobs that you have here are not on Monster or Career Builder. So here you have some of you're actually viewing the hidden job market. Let's see. So you might be asking me, what exactly am I asking of you? It appears from what you just heard that I'm recommending that you spend 50% of your time on the large job boards, 50% of your time building up your LinkedIn profile, 50% of your time on Facebook and Twitter, and 50% of your time on company job boards or niche job boards. So no, I'm not suggesting that at all. That's mathematically not possible and realistically not possible. So let me rephrase your question for you. What you want to know is, how do you deal with so many different websites? Well, there's a website for that. These are called meta sites. What meta sites do are they aggregate data from multiple job boards, multiple sources, into one nice, clear, crisp, user-friendly dashboard for you. Two that I recommend: Indeed.com and CareerArc.com. Indeed.com uh, is one of the best for jobs. So if you go on Monster and you see job A, and you go on Career Builder and see job B, had you gone on Indeed.com, you would have found job A and B and C. Career Arc, they used to be called Tweet My Jobs. They actually integrate your Facebook, your Twitter, and your LinkedIn account and other apps. And you could put, actually, Indeed also, you could put key terms. So let's say you're an accountant. So you want to put terms like corporate accountant, accounting jobs, CFO, CPA, key terms like that. And Indeed and CareerArc will email you, tweet you, or send directly to your phone everything they have for that day or that week that contain those jobs. So, earlier I mentioned that it takes a bit over 3 minutes for a company to receive their first applicant. Meta sites are the reason why. Anywhere in the world they post a job, someone finds it and applies it in a second. Let's see. Let me just mention briefly a few apps because we're getting close to question time. Um, so there are some that have been around for many years and are great to use. There are new ones coming up all the time. Some I've had clients that had some really great success with. Others, don't seem to be working that well. You could find usually good updated lists at sites like jobsearch.about.com and businessnewsdaily.com. I want to give just a few examples. JobAware, great for Mac users. It's been for many years the highest rated job search app on that platform. They actually help you check different cities, companies, and salary data. Be Known is Monster's Facebook app. Career Builder has an app. Career Friend has a Facebook app. Another great one that you could use for Android and Mac platforms is Intro. That one is actually quite unique because they connect you to real life people, not just things online. So it connects you to people in your social media network. Let's see you mutual contacts that you're connected, and can notify you actually of real live events with real human beings, tech events, professional events, social meetups, things like that with people in your network. Let's see, and time to get into one of my personal favorite subjects, your resume. Your resume and your cover letter really are the root of your job search. It what gets employers to view you on job boards, and really serves as a first impression. Many things, as we've seen today, have changed over the years in how you search for a job, how employers search for candidates, etc. But one thing that has been tried and true and is really timeless is your resume. Really, it is you telling the employer your story. And that's really an essential part of why companies hire people. And in the future, I don't see the resume fading away, even though new resources are always coming up, LinkedIn, other profile job boards and things like that. But I don't see resume being any less important than it was 5, 10, 20 years ago. To maximize your resume and LinkedIn profile, let's understand what is SEO. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, and what that is that you have the right words on your resume. So when an employer types in project management or accountant or something like that, you'll come on the first page. Where do you get the right terms from? Well, the best place is straight from the horse's mouth, the horse being the employer. So you get that from the job leads that the employer puts out. Here's a very typical job lead for an IT manager from Indeed. So you have your description, responsibilities, and requirements. I'm going to go a little bit fast because we're nearing question time. And here are your SEO terms. So what the employer is going to be searching for, what needs to be on your resume, on your intro, in your LinkedIn profile, and as skills on your LinkedIn profile are these key terms. The employer wants to see that you have experience with global IT infrastructure, that you have experience with desktop and server systems, you have a bachelor's degree, at least 8 years experience, understanding of compliance issues like HIPAA and SOX, etc. Um, the other very important thing is to make sure you use the right name of the tool um, or skill that you want. How do you know what the right term is? Well, there's a website for that. A great one I recommend is Indeed.com Job Trends. What you do is, let's say for a project management professional, that's a PMP certification. Now, there are many ways you could write that. You could write that you're a PMP, project management professional. You could get very general and write project manager. What is the best term to use? So what you do is you put 2, maybe up to 3 terms in the box, separate by commas, and click Find Trends. And let me make this a little bigger so you can see. And this will show you the percent of job postings on Indeed.com from 2006 to present. And you can see if you only use the term PMP, you're running up to maybe 1%. If you use the term project management professional, close to maybe 4 different times. So to grab the maximum number of job postings, you want to use a very general term, project management. And you can see here again, it went up to 12%. Lately, it's been going down. So maybe you should try some other terms. Maybe you'll find better success there. Let's see. Okay. Let me go through if we have time. Yeah, 4 minutes. So let me just, in about 2 more minutes, go through this, which is one of your worst enemies in your job search, the applicant tracking system, or ATS. Most employers now use this ATS, which is actually a program that goes through your resume, searches for key terms. If your resume doesn't have the right terms, it gets sent straight to the circular file. If it does have enough terms, it actually gets seen by a real live human. Job Trends is a great thing to make sure you have the right terms. Also, these sites are really neat. They create for you what's called a word cloud. So try TagCrowd or Wordle. Let me bring up a word cloud for you. Let's see. Okay, 1 second. Let me bring this up. All right, stay with me, everyone. Stay with me. Let's see. Cloud, where are you? There you are, Cloud. Okay, so if you now, I took a client's resume who was an administrative assistant, and I put it into, I believe, word cloud, one of the sites. I think both of them do basically the same thing, and came up with this. So you could see administrative, that's one of the key terms, 5 times customer, because customer service. All of these terms, you can see how many times they're written in the resume. Please don't be thrown by angels or lost. The person lived in Los Angeles, and so all of their jobs were in Los Angeles. Their current location is Los Angeles. So that's why in the resume, Los Angeles was written 6 times. But you can see the main key terms, management, departments, diverse, assist, administrative. Those are mentioned those times. Let me move back to this. Let's see. All right, 1 second. Let me bring this back. 1 second. There we go. Alrighty. So, in conclusion, there's just so much more to say, but we're moving on to time for questions. Please, again, send a question. Let's see. If you have a question, let's see, feel free to put it in the thing in the field in the right side. We have a bunch already that I'm going to go through. Let's see. And again, you definitely have an opportunity to work with me. Feel free to click on those special offers. And actually, speaking about offers, um, let's see. Well, yeah, let me mention the offer and then go through a brief summary because that offer is just so cool. And now it is time for our mega deal. So we actually negotiated a fantastic um, free 30-minute consultation for you. If you're alive, well, and awake, and have been throughout this webinar, I congratulate you, and you win. You win a free 30-minute consultation. People who are in the job services field, certified career coaches and such, know this name, Sharon McCormick. She is a published author, noted speaker, has just a whole ton of certifications and many, many years experience. She's fantastic in helping people through career transitions, kind of career testing, helping with career services in any way. So you have here her website. Please check it out. Also her direct phone number and email. Please give her a call. Send her an email. You can set up an appointment with her. Please mention that you saw her on the job search seminar. And so you get your free consultation. She's a wonderful person to work with and just a fantastic resource. And as I said, she could provide you things I can't on this webinar. And really my specialty is creating the LinkedIn profile and documents for people. She has better expertise in testing and direct counseling. So let me briefly go through a summary. So today what we learned was how to prepare yourself with the right documents, resume, profile, how to schedule a time, how to use multiple strategies and various online tools and networking, and always remember the 80-20 rule and keep your schedule flexible so you can maximize your success. I explained what the hidden job market is, where it is, why it exists, and multiple strategies to uncover those jobs that aren't in public view. Things like networking with those people in the companies, keeping watch on mega sites to find any job anywhere in the world as soon as it gets posted. I want you to be the first one to apply. Lastly, SEO, which is one of the most important parts of your resume and profile. If you do your SEO right, then you're going to get employers and recruiters to find you, and you're going to get around that gatekeeper. Let's go to questions. Now, last time my camera clicked out, so let me just make sure we're still working here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, there I am. Okay, great. So, okay, first question. Can you just cut and paste your resume into your LinkedIn profile? Not if your resume is done correctly. So I believe you mentioned this. There are some key differences between a resume and profile. The intro statement of a resume has to be focused on your current career target and is very business focused. Your LinkedIn profile intro statement, first of all, you're limited to 2,000 characters and you have to be a little more personal. Once someone reads your profile, they should come away having a better understanding of who you are, what makes you tick. They should have a feeling that they know you, that you're a friend, and that makes it a lot harder for them not to want to interview you. They should read it and just really not really want to contact you, but actually need to contact you because you would be a great match for them. LinkedIn only accepts certain texts and characters, so if you just cut and paste your resume, a lot of stuff could turn it into gibberish, and you definitely don't want employers just to see that. Job descriptions on LinkedIn are limited to a certain number of characters, So many times on your resume, you have to adjust that. You feel free to check my LinkedIn profile. Not now because I'm answering your beautiful questions. So when we're finished, please feel free to check out my LinkedIn profile. And it's obviously a bit different because I'm looking for clients. I'm not, I'm not looking for a certain job. Um, but you can see a lot of references there. I have over 30. I eliminated the ones from several years ago. So right now, just about 30. Several of them I created their profile in many different industries. So you can see their profile and see what a good profile looks like. Next question. I've been in HR for over 10 years. So thank you for explaining why we have internal recruitment programs. You're welcome. I actually never considered the time and costs involved we have to put on our positions on public job boards. My question is that I think I want to consider a different role. It could be internal. I love my company. I have a lot of skills in project management, operations. How can I create a focused job search? Great. So as I mentioned, this is an extremely common question. Most people, particularly Americans, I think, spend an average 3 years in a job. Then either they get fired or they leave or they move on to something else. Um, and again, as I said, most people have at least 7 major career changes. Um, so a focused job search really starts with focus. You have to know what you're looking for because you could find it and not know what you just found. So this would actually be a better question for Sharon because she really specializes in career testing, which helps you identify your strengths, your interests, what you're good at, and what would be an optimal fit for you. There are tests I know briefly about, such as Myers-Briggs. You can ask her about those. She could give you a lot more detailed answer about that. Let's see. So let's see. I'm in Asia earning my engineering degree and want to work in the US. I have a US green card. Should I put in my profile and resume that I don't need a visa and I don't need travel expenses? Could this be hurting my job search? Okay, very good question. So I think you're also referencing the H-1B visa, which now on a profile and resume, the general thing is you don't want to focus on what you need or what you don't need. Your entire focus really should be on what the employer needs and how you fit that match exactly. Um, Now, there could be some red flags if you have on your resume that all of your school, all of your old jobs, etc., everything you've done is in China or the Philippines or wherever you are. Um, One thing is on resumes nowadays, you don't put a full address. Nobody gets snail mail anymore. Um, so really just need a phone number. You could get a Skype US number or a different Google Talk, whoever it is, and get a US phone number. If you know the area of the US you want to work in, you could get a PO box, or if you have a contact here in the US that could use their address, at that point I would recommend actually putting your full address because you now have a US address. So go ahead and put that on your resume. So as soon as an employer looks at your resume, he immediately says, oh, this guy's in the US, I can hire him. I'm not going to even think about visas, travel expenses, anything like that. Okay, I think we have time for about 2 more questions. Um, okay, I like what you say about having other people working for you, looking for jobs for you. Aside from doing things online and networking with your contacts, are there other ways to have people tell you about job openings? Yes, for sure. There are great resources that are really old school resources. They've been used for decades and are still really great tools to use. Uh, Consider joining local organizations or organizations in the area that you want to work. Consider Chamber of Commerce, Toastmasters, if you have time for volunteer work. There's great online sites. I apologize for recommending an online site for something offline, but there are great sites for that. One is meetup.com. That's a site where people really set up social groups, but there are actually job search groups, networking groups on there. Really, everything on the sun, under the sun, is there, from speed dating to groups that do stamp collecting together, people that do morning runs together. So check out those kind of groups. Consider joining one that relates to your hobby or your passion. connect with people and put out there that you're looking for a job and what kind of resources they could recommend. Let's see. I use the major job boards, Career Builder and Monster. What are the niche job boards that you mentioned? Good question. So to find these, search for terms related to your career. As I mentioned, if you're a CPA, search for CPA job boards, search for best accounting jobs, just general accounting jobs, and also consider project work. Um, you could generally find major companies that are looking for just part-time employees. So let's see. So let's see. Yeah. So they could provide you, first of all, a foot in the door. So you could start meeting people in that company and eventually, find when jobs are open. You'll have your ear to the ground, so to say. There are sites such as Upwork, that used to be called Odesk. That's actually the largest freelancing site with over 1 million members. There's sites like collegerecruiter.com. That's a niche board really for entry level jobs. If you're just getting out of school or looking for something entry level, that's a great board. There's another board, TopTal, that's toptal.com, and that has some Fortune 500 clients. They have people like JP Morgan, Zendesk, that are looking for people just to work part time or to work for certain projects. Um, that site actually also has a community for meetups and for tech events, so you can watch, uh, uh, so you can learn and meet actually real life people. How much time do we have left? Okay, we have time for about one last question. Um, okay, so if you would like me to work with you, please either click on that offer or just send me an email. You have my email here at the bottom of the screen. Send me an email. Next question. Okay, this is a good one. You had all these numbers for how great LinkedIn is. Why would I spend time on the other sites like Facebook or Twitter? So that relates to what I mentioned at the beginning, that you have to use every resource possible to eliminate your job search as quickly as possible. And while most recruiters post their jobs and recruit people and contact you via LinkedIn, the fact is that Facebook has over 1 billion users. That makes it about 5 times bigger than LinkedIn. And in general, there's a fact that more people means more opportunities. Now, also, you could have a lot of Facebook connections that aren't there on LinkedIn for you. So if you have a very large Facebook account with a lot of friends, that is a great resource to use because, as I showed you those resources, those friends can be a great backdoor to a certain company. Twitter is not the most popular for recruiters. However, Twitter is the world's most popular site for advice. So getting on there, and you might want to spend maybe even just 1% of your job search time on Twitter, going on there once in a while and just putting out there, hey, I'm looking for an IT job in Washington, D.C. Anyone have any resources? Um, Really, the most effective thing to do is to use mega sites that help you use all these resources. It allows you to minimize the time that you spend on social media and all these different sites, and you could dedicate your time to other things like going on interviews. So we're just about out of time. I want to thank you all so much for attending. Like I said, we should be on Monday sending you out a webinar, a survey. The survey, it really is just about 5 questions. Should take about a minute. Just going to ask you what you thought about today. Did you get something from the subject? What topics would you like to see in the future? So, and again, please contact Sharon for your free consultation. And please take down my email. If you're not in the midst of a job search now, but will be in the future, please feel free to contact me. Generally, you don't want to wait till the last minute to have a profile up for yourself and to have yourself a well-done resume. You want to have that as a tool up your sleeve as soon as possible. So if you ever do need a job search, it's ready there waiting for you. Again, thank you so much for attending, and I look forward to seeing all of you again on another webinar we have. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.